6,680 pounds, and basically never used. A one-owner Coachman Freedom Express upgraded Liberty Edition 292 quad bunk, full-size outside kitchen, private rear bunk, private front bedroom, super slide, Azdel Ultralite camper. Coming back to us here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. We, like, just sold this thing to the previous owners, like, I don't know, maybe this last spring or fall or something like that. And the plan was they were going to take the whole family camping. And when the whole family didn't show up, owner, well, forget that, swapped it out for a little 25-foot Rockwood Ultralite so that they could enjoy an easier towing, smaller couples camper. Guys, this is basically a new camper to use price tag, and I just can't state it more simply than that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you just a real fast, cursory once-over on this trailer so that you can see that, yeah, it really is in excellent shape. It's not scarred up. It is clean. It smells clean in here, guys. And then, if you would, after that, if you need more information, like if you don't know about this trailer, if you're not familiar with Freedom Expresses or the 292, after we just kind of go over it and see that, yes, it's not all scarred up and banged up, I'm going to include our original full walkthrough video tour of this specific trailer so that you can learn all about it. Back here, private bunks. Again, one of the main things here is they weren't used. So, you know, nobody put their shoes on these open shelves or anything like that. The cabinets, the walls, the window treatments, they're not all scarred up. The bunk mats aren't worn down. It is, like I said, as close to new as I think used can possibly get. I think maybe the original owners must have used the shower a couple times. Now, the multi-detector is chirping at us right now because the RV was never used. It just sat there in storage, and the parasitic drain on the battery just slowly trickle drained the battery. That's literally the biggest, most derogatory aspect of this RV I can possibly offer. It has been used so little, the battery needs charged. That's the worst news I can give you. Frankly, if that's the worst news I can give you, I'd say we're doing all right. This is a 60 by 80 queen. Is our full video tour. We'll tell you what that is. Basically a full-size true queen. And that extra vent up top for light and airflow is something that everybody enjoys. And it's all here. All the original stuff, including like that little picnic table. They didn't pick off any parts. They weren't scavengers. The original battery, like when we sell every single new RV from Haylett RV, we include 1 or 2 batteries, whatever the RV needs, fill up the propane tanks, etc. I mean, this is turnkey, ready to go. If you've got a big family, you're looking for a good half-ton towing lightweight, and you just don't like that new RV price tag, man, ooh, this is a rare opportunity. And I guess if I'm gonna be ultra picky of the outside, maybe it needs a hose bath in a couple little spots. I mean, it maybe needs spot cleaned, and that's literally the worst I can say about this. I mean, if I go screaming down the sidewall, you can see that glossy reflectivity still on the skin. No peeling, faking, flaking, fading. I have said that like 7 times recently here. Tires look good. Actually, there's a couple cobwebs on the tires because the trailer wasn't moving often enough to get the cobwebs off the tires. That's how little it's been used. So, give us a call. Virtually new, technically used, but might be able to qualify for same as new RV finance because of the extreme young age of this camper. And that's pretty cool. So if you want to learn more about that, give us a ring, 800-256-5196, and enjoy our fully informative walkthrough video tour if you still need more information. 6,605 pounds in the Liberty Edition, a little bit lighter in non-Liberty. The Freedom Express 292 bunkhouse here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Liberty being the upgraded trim package version. This is the one that gives you private front bedroom. We've got a big super slide during the day and a rear traditionally quad bunkhouse, now triple bunkhouse with a full-size outside kitchen. We've got Azdel on the walls. We'll learn all about that. She's extra tall inside with a longer 80-inch queen bed. So it's big, but it's light, which is a hard series of features to try to smash together in one RV. But here you go. I got the slide closed up so you can see what she looks like in transit. And overall, it's fairly travel accessible. One of the catch-22s, like everything's best quality is also its worst detriment. And by going with the full-size extra large U-dinette that does stick out of the slide a little bit, it does mean that it gets a little tight trying to squeeze through to the bunkhouse or the bathroom. Now, this is a free-floating table. This can easily just lean out of the way and you can squeeze through. Now, when you're traveling, that should actually be in the down position. It does get a little tight right there. But guys, it's really important to remember these are just 12-volt slide-outs. They are not hard to operate. With about 4 seconds worth of holding the button right here, voila! Congratulations! Now we can squeeze right by this thing and be able to get back to the bunkhouse to pack everything up, or get something like an extra sweatshirt maybe for the kids while you're traveling, but really not need like an extra big, extra wide parking space or anything like that. This is really all it takes to get through the whole RV. So I think this one pretty much qualifies for pretty darn good travel access. So every trailer kind of has like a message and a theme, and the recurring message or trend or spirit or whatever you want to call it of a Freedom Express is full size but lightweight. And that's a hard thing to accomplish unless you're willing to go really cheap on structure. And thankfully these guys don't do that. And we'll talk, let's talk about it right now. So like we've got a full walk-on roof, so that's not a problem. They didn't chintz on structure or anything like that. But they're 6'9" tall. They're 3 inches taller than a normal trailer, especially a lightweight. Lightweights usually are 6.5 tall with a bubbled ceiling. And that makes the RV look bigger, but the walls are still normal height. And the taller walls are what means this thing has bigger slide out. It means it has bigger cabinets, bigger bunks, bigger shower, more open feeling headroom. And that's really the Freedom Express advantage, is that they have a linear 6'9" interior height versus a vaulted ceiling. Now they do a really nice lighting package in this. Very high intensity lighting and plenty of it. They also do neat little LED accent lights you see all the way through that slide out. And even up here above the entertainment center. And at night, like during the day, it just looks neat. It just, like, you don't even necessarily consciously recognize that they're on. But at night, you're like, oh, look at that. It's an awesome little nightlight if you have these little fold-down sleeper sofa hide-a-beds going on. So all of our windows are going to open for ventilation. In Liberty Edition, oh, here I got a good example. Liberty Edition, we're going to upgrade from pleated shades to slow-rise roller shades like a diesel pusher. So you're getting the nicer shades in the upgraded series. We will typically upgrade our Freedom Expresses to 15,000 BTU air conditioners so that, you know, on a hot summer day or in those southern western climates, our long-distance customers, you can buy a Freedom Express from us and not have to mess with upgrading the air conditioner because we did it right the first time. And that's based off consumer feedback. This is a brand that we continue to be just very successful with, and Freedom Express is on fire right now. Year to date, they are up like 26% over last year. This is a team that was already very successful and is just screaming up in popularity. And for a lot of reasons, they are very good about listening to customers, and so are we. So together, we found a really good home for them here at Haylett RV. So the trifold sleeper sofa right here, I love that it's a very residential style, because it has like open space below it. So if there's like extra Monopoly board games or something like that you want to throw down there, it's perfect to do it. And I love the detail work on the Freedoms. They are so well appointed, not just for a sales type person, but an end user, like the little cup holders in the armrest. Extra little detail stuff like that, it goes a long way for me, and it means a lot. So the dinette right here is some of the best easy access storage you could ever hope for with these. In the Liberty Edition, you get full extension drawers. In standard Freedom Express, they're just doors on the end, but they both have that sliding panel on the back of the dinette for easy access even to the rear bench. And it's little simple details like that that help, again, separate Freedom Express for me. They do just touches, but it's like things that you can actually see, feel, use, appreciate. It's not just glitz and glamour. It's content. It's function. Our free-floating table here, it can kind of pop open and do anything you want it to. I mean, just to see how easy it is. Look how easy this thing pops right up and down right here. It takes only a couple seconds, and what's nice is you fold it down, you could easily purpose it over here as something like a coffee table, a dining table, whatever you want. Take it outside and have dual outside picnic tables. This already includes one outside picnic table, but you could use that for a second one. Over here, this would be our pantry area, and it's actually very, very functional. I like that it's wider instead of narrow but deep. This is a little more functional. It's much, much easier to get to this way. I like pantries shaped in this fashion. Let's see here. You know what? This is the type of RV that if I just went like this and I said, hey guys, look at that kitchen, isn't it pretty? Well, yeah, it's pretty, but you just missed so much of the detail of this RV by just passing over like that. So let's look at the kitchen a little bit more closely. So there's a lot more going on with this kitchen than originally meets the eye. Part of that taller ceiling that I've mentioned is the fact that you're going to get 3 extra inches of overhead cabinet storage in here. And that's not a small thing. That could be the difference between putting something in here and it doesn't fit, you know? The other thing is, it's an easy opportunity to reach around the cabinet styles, and you can feel the pocket screws holding all this lumber core cabinetry together, not particle board with staples. Coming down behind that oven, there's 2 things I want to really point out, and that's the fact that we've got a real tile backsplash, but we also have an extreme amount of countertop space behind there. And that's one of the biggest things that people miss on a Freedom Express kitchen. It's one of the biggest reasons I want to record extra little video segments like this, is that at a glance you're like, oh, I've seen this floor plan before. Not really. This has a deeper countertop, and there's more space behind it for things like coffee makers, appliances, toasters, etc. Now our sink here, it's got a very modern look to it. I actually see this going into a lot of residential designs with this. This is actually just like rubberized hose right here, but it is a pull-out sprayer style faucet. You know, you can find those things at Home Depot, Menards, whatever. Liberty Edition does upgrade us to solid surface countertops here in the kitchen, which is very nice. It just gives it that extra upscale look and feel, but we do still maintain the Stonecast farm sink. We'll talk about Azdel and the structure outside. For some reason that word was in my head. So that sink right there is rated for up to 500 degrees, which is hotter than you can even get water because it boils off after that. Now, ovens are one of those things that constantly updates through the RV business, but you can see that we've got a recessed glass top oven right here with those LED backlit knobs, which makes it like a really cool evening night light. Now right here, you can see plywood drawers, and they're even beveled edges, and they're full extension. And then if I don't talk about this, my rep says he'll kill me. So I'm going to make sure I talk about what I call the utensil drawer. And I love it. I think it's the best use of space under the RV sink I've ever seen. And that's why this little cutaway is here, so that when you close it, it actually wraps right around the sink. What I like about this, though, is not just the fact that it gives us the best place I've ever found in an RV for utensils, but it's very picnic friendly. Or, I mean, you can set it over here for family storage time. You can take it outside. You can do anything you want with it. It's very easy to pull out and clean. And then when you're done with it, ta-da! Now, if I close this up, what you get to see is that deeper countertop translates into deeper cabinet space, too. So, like, big pots, pans, big stuff. You've got more room for that big stuff there. And, obviously, we've still got that virtual 6'9" tall pantry over there next to the slide-out area as well. Another thing here in the kitchen, though, is the refrigerator. This is an 8 cubic foot fridge freezer, which is an option in the base Freedom Express, but it's included in the Liberty Edition, which is like the trim package upgrade. So you've got a lot going on in a very condensed amount of space, a lot more so than people realize. And I think it's one of the best parts of this floor plan, in that it's so big when you need it to be, but it's so out of the way the rest of the time that it doesn't interfere with your camping experience. We already talked about the air conditioner and how we like to upgrade that here at Haylett RV, but one thing I like to point out is Freedom Expresses don't use floor ducted heating. There's advantages and disadvantages to both heating styles, but what this grants folks, and I think it's going to work better for mower folks in this case, in a lightweight type trailer, is no floor vents to collect dirt, debris, M&Ms, paper clips, etc. You know, kids' toys, toothbrushes. I think you get the idea. I've listed enough examples, but it's easy to keep this thing clean. The bathroom is pretty nice. Like it doesn't have to be fancy, just a bathroom. It's here for a purpose, not to look pretty. But they still have a nicer porcelain foot flush stool. I like that big open segment of cabinet space right there, because you couldn't put a cabinet door there. But for bigger folks like me, they actually kind of recess and cut away that countertop. And anywhere, like in the Liberty Edition, we have the solid surface countertops in the kitchen. We just saw those. Everywhere else, even the dining table, you've got thermofoil, which is still an upgrade over standard industry T-molding. And what this gives us, guys, is superior protection against water exposure, because we've got a sink right there, and we're in a bathroom with a shower and whatnot. And the last thing you want is for a T-molded countertop to get wet and sponge up. That being said, you have to screw it up pretty hard. You have to get it wet and leave it wet for that to happen. But now it's just not even an issue. Little extra towel rack or hanging rack right here. Very handy little classy touch. And again, it's so many little touches they put in these that I like them for. And that taller shower. So it's just a very traditional, like, travel trailer shower tub at a glance, but extra tall. And this is one of the things I love most about Freedom Express, is that I can stand in the shower of these and not have to, like, you know, duck or anything like that. So a couple of things. Here in the bunkhouse, they still have, in the Liberty Edition, those roller nightshades. But look at how many windows they have in here. And they all open for ventilation. So you can get some awesome airflow in here. Now, this is a slightly larger bunk over here. And what it grants them is all of this extra shelf and storage space right there. But if you notice, like, we've got TV hookups on this rear wall right there. And if you notice, there's actually like this huge extra closet that goes along with it below that. So the kids have lots of storage in their own bunkhouse, but they were able to accomplish all this without a second slide in the bunkhouse, which affects the weight and the price tags. And that's why I think the $292 Freedom Express is so popular. It gives you the privacy of a rear bunk room without the cost and the weight of a dedicated rear bunk slide out. And still maintaining easy travel access, as we saw previously. Let me get us spun around here. There's one other thing. Oh, there it is, yeah. The USB chargers here in the bunkhouse, just that extra little thing to make life easy for the kids. And where the TV hookups were in that kids entertainment area, there's also you know, household outlets right there. So if you need to drop a little power strip to keep more things charged up, easy to do. So bonus sleeping, we start with this big 84-inch U-dinette, and it's extra deep. So one adult can sleep on there easily. Two are going to be close, but you can kind of make it work. And then you've got that full tri-fold sleeper sofa that opens up. But notice that it doesn't block the camper off when it's open, so it's always easy to get through here. Now, the entertainment center, the bedroom here, we do have sliding pocket privacy doors, and then the TV can spin to face the bedroom. So it's a little bit of whatever you want, whenever you want it, wherever you want it. Looking down, below the TV, you've got that pocket next to stereo right there. There are household and USB plugs in that, so that's your perfect phone device, like charging station right there. And below that, in the Liberty Edition, you're going to get the electric space heating fireplace with remote control. There's LED visuals on that, but basically, guys, instead of burning up propane, you can just use the electricity you're already getting at the park for a little bit of extra bonus heat in the camper and kind of save on your propane use. In addition to the, you know, Coleman camp grill that we're going to see outside, you can have very little propane use actually going on in this camper anytime you're in a park. There's almost no need. And a big shoe garage by the entry door. I am always a sucker for a shoe garage because it helps cut the clutter. I don't like clutter. Clutter gets me all kinds of crazy. Now they do something here that is very uncommon, and I don't see it outside of the Jayco brand very much actually, and that is that their air vents are both vented and louvered. And what that means is they can turn and they can close. And where I really like that is up here in the bedroom. Because if I'm laying here, my wife is there, I'm a hot box. I talk about that in several of my videos. I like to have a cold air vent blowing right on me. She doesn't. So this RV is one that can very well suit our style of camping. You've got your side stands with outlets on both sides of the bed. And one thing I really want to hit on here, guys, is this is not the shorter Camp Queen. Not only is this RV extra tall, it's very tall person friendly with a full 80-inch long residential queen bed. So a lot of people see how the bed comes close to the wall up here and they go, oh crap, I hate that. My feet are going to kick the wall. Probably not unless you're, you know, a giant. And then most RVs aren't going to fit you, period. Now, if you take a look at this, this has dual element LED lighting above the bed, but there's also like night lighting inside that recessed headboard with an extra set of USB plugs up there. So you've got a USB charging station built right in above your bed, and then you've got all sorts of night lighting in here. Like if you want to read a book or something, but you don't want hard, bright light just eating up your eyeballs at night, you're good to go. Full hanging closet, and a little detail stuff too. And this is one of those things where I see this and I go, these are people who have been camping. This isn't designed by just some developer. This is designed by someone who actually camps. And that's a hanging rack, not a hanging rod. The reason I like these is because your clothes stay in one spot. They don't slide back and forth. And they don't kind of, you know, get all mishmashed and wrinkled against one another. Now, you've got the spinning TV, but you've also got this vent above the bed for extra light and airflow. And trying to think, is there anything else I've missed in here? There certainly, I'm sure, is something, but I think we've hit all the major critical features here, guys. Let's go take a look outside and, you know, let's go learn about Azdel, because that's a big part of what they do here. There's a lot of things to cover out here, but the first one I want to hit on is Azdel, because it's one of the key things here in the Coachmen lightweights. And they may not, I don't know that they were necessarily the very first ones to use it, but they were the first, like, major mainstream manufacturer to use it, and they're really one of the reasons that a lot of people are really looking at Azdel like it's a major part of their purchase process right now, and for good reason. Visibly, there's not a whole lot you can really see here. It's the little white line of stuff right there. It's what it does for you that matters. Because instead of Luan substrate under the fiberglass, they're using the Azdel stuff. The primary reason for it is that it's lighter. It's, some people say 40, some people say 60, so I just split the difference, say about 50% lighter than wood. And with an extra tall sidewall, the bigger the RV is, the bigger that difference becomes very quickly. But it is a side effect of the Azdel stuff is that it cannot rot, mold, mildew. It's got a little superior R value, so 1.5-inch lightweight wall like this has about the same R values as a 2-inch non-ultralight type wall. The other thing is it's a little bit sound deadening, so it just makes it a little quieter, a little more peaceful inside, not like any major difference, like it's not going to mute out some rock concert going on some guy's outside speakers next to you, but you get the idea. You take anything you can get. So it's got a lot of supplemental benefits, but the major thing is that it's just lighter in weight. So that's a big part of what they do here. They were, I mean, as far as Freedom Express has ever been built, as far as I know, they've pretty much always had that. Now, simple side mount solar prep over here. If you want one of those little solar suitcases, you can just plug right in. All that really does is just trickle charge the batteries, but it's a nice way to keep your 12-volt charged up. Extra wide, nice and tall baggage door, and Liberty gives us slam latches. Not just magnet catches, but we also upgrade the latches as well. Now, when we get down here, you can see we've got a huge, you know, pass-through storage compartment. And this started with their 50th anniversary, which is just impressive that these guys, Coachman's been around for over 50 years now. But they started putting this outside picnic table in with their anniversary package, and it was so darn popular, they just left it in there. And just like you have a full-length LED light under the awning, you've got a full-length LED light under the base of this pass-through compartment as well. So you can... Sorry about that. I've had so much non-stop footage and camera work today with everything coming in that my memory card filled up. I had to go purge it real quick. So Liberty Edition. Very easy to see something is a Liberty versus a standard Freedom Ultralite with the full Liberty nose cap. It gives it that just incredible look as opposed to, well, there you go, here's the standard Liberty Ultralite. 3/4 cap with a big diamond plate. Now, one of the questions people have is, yeah, how do you keep the stones from banging this thing up? These aren't just stickers down here at your high stone frequency areas. They're basically designed for impact reflection. Now, you see this guy up front here. What is this? Liberty Edition has basically a centrally controlled full stabilizer jack system right here, where it just kind of looks like a tongue jack, but you can control the whole thing right from here, which is pretty darn cool. It's also a little more stable from what I've kind of noticed, so you get less of that rock and roll wiggling stuff. Now, you may also notice while we were up there, you have a tongue-mounted spare tire. Very uncommon. It helps protect it a little bit from the sun, but the biggest thing is load equalization, because weight in the front of the RV tows better than weight in the back. The other neat thing, a lot of people like to put bike racks on these. So it leaves the rear bumper pretty darn open for bike racks, which is nice. Now, we already talked about the slam latches and magnet catches. However, in the meantime, when I had to go swap stuff off my memory card, it started drizzling a little bit. So I'm kind of juggling one hand on the camera, and I certainly don't want it raining inside of there, even a little bit. Windows are UV tinted, keeps the interior cooler because it blocks solar radiation, gives you more privacy, and slows arrest furniture fade dramatically. These have a standard enclosed heated belly, so if it is going to dip below freezing for a night, you're going to be okay. If it's going to hard freeze long term, then get it winterized. It's not made for that. Now this rear corner, this is an area where it seems strange. I would spend time focusing on the RV, but I think it's one of the best examples of the more real-world design that they put into the Freedom Expresses, having all of our hookups, our full outside hot cold shower, black tank flush, separate cable and satellite hookups, everything back in this one location. It just makes more sense. The park hookups are usually in this corner, so if you are going to go park camping, it's nice to have everything in one logical spot. Now, before this was an outside kitchen model, historically, these actually had a second full rear pass-through, but you can see it's still not hurting for storage. It's still quite deep and quite large in there. Give me just a second to close that up, and once again, those magnet latches are making my life simple right now, having only one hand available. Now, the rear ladder that we're looking at right here, that is an optional piece of equipment. You're not going to find, even on a Liberty Edition, it's still optional. But we had more requests to add ladders to our Freedom Expresses than any other single brand. So we said, you know what? No problem. People have spoken. You made your voices heard. We have followed suit. We've got ladders on our Freedom Expresses. Another thing, I think I mentioned inside, but again, with all the video footage I've had and the break that I had there, it's getting mixed up on me. But we do also like to put the larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner on our Freedom Expresses, all of them, even the smallest ones, just for consistency's sake, but that extra cooling power, you know, in a hot climate, my southern customers, stuff like that, you folks are going to appreciate that extra cooling power for sure. Now, they have a full-size outside kitchen here, and I really like how theirs is arranged. I especially like the fact that you see how the countertop drops down for the refrigerator right there. That makes it super easy to access for the kiddos, so that you can continue to just kind of chill out in your lounge chair and relax, and they don't have to constantly be like, Mom, Dad, can you get me a water? Can you get me a bug juice or whatever? They can get their own stuff. They can take care of themselves. It's just easier for everybody. Now, just like inside, and especially on a little drizzly day like today, I like to point out those sealed edge countertops, so that, if we are exposed to moisture, which outside humidity and moisture will tend to collect on a flat horizontal surface like this, it is nice to have better countertops. And a real sink with a real drain to a holding tank, not just a dog dish that you flip out onto the ground. And even TV hookups out here. If you're looking for entertainment outside, you're all set to do so with additional little appliance outlets, which could be great for even phone chargers outside over here. Now, instead of an RVQ grill, which we have found through customer polling, people really don't seem to like them a whole heck of a lot. I'm really happy with the Coachman's here, because their free-floating Coleman camp grill right here tends to be one of the grills people often say this is one of the things that we enjoy instead of the RVQ grill. Now, what's neat about it is just like that utensil sink drawer inside, which, by the way, we've got another one of out here, so everything we already talked about the utensil drawer inside still applies out here. This is very portable. That little outside picnic table you saw up in the front pass-through, you can move this here, there, anywhere you want. You can take it to your friend Ted's campsite if you're buddy camping or whatever. You're good to go. And then, when you're done with it, it just stores right out of the way. It feeds off those little portable 1-pound pre-pressurized bottles, so take it anywhere you want. Now, a lot of Freedom Expresses, under the refrigerator, like inside you'll see like, oh, they didn't do anything with that storage pocket. That's because they usually have that Coleman camp grill outside here. However, since this already has a full outside camp kitchen, they include this huge extra utility drawer outside. And I've said it a bunch of times, but if there's one thing, you know, every brand does something better than another brand. But if there's one thing Coachman does better than anybody, it is storage. These guys are aces at storage. And once again, I just don't want the water getting to that. So, right here we've got our wide stance stability axles. The axles are set extra far apart so that the trailer is not inclined to bounce up and down and jostle you around the truck nearly as badly, and it is less inclined to wiggle back and forth and scare you to death on the highway. So that is what makes this trailer very half-ton friendly. It's not just the weight, but also the wide stance axles, because it helps you reduce and cheat the wheelbase for smoother, easier towing with less sway. This is not a replacement for an anti-sway weight distribution hitch. It's a supplement to, and it'll help. Liberty Edition upgrades the steps to these nice-looking aluminum steps. No corrosion issues. They're lighter weight, and they're easier to see at night, and that ain't all bad. And I think we pretty much got her outside. I do love that blue accent. I like blue accents on stuff. I'm just kind of a sucker that way, I guess. I think we're good. I think we're good. She's extra tall, she's lightweight, she's big and full-featured, but light in weight. And that is a hard series of things to slam together here. Now, she's, you know, if you like everything you see on this, but you're like, I just don't need all that thrills and frills and jazz and whatnot, give our guys a call, because that's where something like our Passport 2920 bunkhouse would come in here at Haylett RV. It's the same basic layout, it's just a little more simple on the amenities level. Still well built, just a little simpler. And there's differences between them, but that's why we carry different brands here at Haylett RV, to help you kind of zero in on the exact one you're looking for. So with that, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Remember that Haylett RV only does everything, whether it's hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between, but we don't do hidden dealer fees. Because yuck, that's why.